So for anyone who tries to claim that I didn't actually complete this game on grounded mode, as you can see, I have completed every single level, every single chapter in this game on the highest difficulty setting, and no, I did not use any accessibility features. I played the game legit from start to finish. So there you go, by yours truly. Alright, Mike, we are back. It hasn't been too long since our last recording. I think it's been a few weeks. How are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Great, great. We had some audio issues last time. Of course, that was my fault. There was a step that I forgot to take, which is why it was very hard to hear you in the last recording that we did. But this time is different. I made sure to take all the necessary steps. So glad to have you back on the channel. Right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, always good to be back.
Yep. So I decided to do something interesting recently. Most recently, I decided to go through The Last of Us Part 2 again. This is the second time that I am playing the game ever in the 3 years since its release. I have not played this game at all over the last 3 years. The only reason that I'm going through it now is because I'm curious if I can beat it on grounded mode, which is the hardest difficulty setting. And grounded mode, for those who don't know, was an update with the original The Last of Us game, and it was carried over to The Last of Us Part 2 when the game actually, initially came out. And what grounded mode is, it's basically a super hard, in-your-face, challenging difficulty setting where the game barely gives you any resources, it barely gives you any ammunition. You may find like a bullet here or there for one of your weapons, and that's it. You have to make that shit last. And if you run out of ammunition, you pretty much have to rely on stealth. And the whole point of this difficulty setting is basically it's for the hardcore players of the audience, the game's audience, and you basically have to rely on stealth throughout the entire playthrough as much as possible. Obviously, there are certain moments where you have to fight, and the game does give you enough resources to get through situations. But if you can sneak your way and perform stealth executions, that's the way you should play the game. I wanted to do something a bit different with this video. I want to go through, because I've been recording my play sessions with the combat encounters. I wanted to do something a bit different that I haven't done before, and I want to grade basically the combat encounters and in a commentary style video, and basically grade them on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as how they were designed, which includes the general level design, the concept of a particular encounter, and the enemy placements. So that's what this is. Let me start here. Most of these are 5 minutes long. So okay, so we had some technical difficulties, but see how everything runs now. Like I said, all of this has been pre-recorded. Everything's smooth on your end, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I didn't mute my microphone on my controller, so you may in some of these you're definitely going to hear me vent my frustrations as I'm playing through this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, I do want to mention The Last of Us Part 2 is designed very differently from Part 1 when it comes to the combat. So in the first game, the enemy encounters were dynamic, but the level design really wasn't. The encounters themselves were very straightforward. Everything's been greatly expanded in Part 2. And the whole concept, because when I covered this game initially when it came out, I didn't go too deep into into too much depth with the gameplay. The main thing I talked about was the story. But when it comes to the gameplay, there were a number of things that I was frustrated with the combat encounters, and the main thing was I was frustrated with the number of enemies that they put on screen. They just throw like legions of enemies at you in this game consistently. Initially I didn't understand why Naughty Dog did that. Like I couldn't really make sense of it until now. As I've been playing through the game the last few days. So The Last of Us, the first game, you could pretty much sneak throughout the majority of that game except for scripted moments and not engage the AI. The Last of Us 2 isn't really designed that way. You can sneak through certain combat encounters, but for the most part, they're designed to force you to fight AI on screen. But the way it's designed, it has a unique design to where you have to keep moving. So if you basically what you're tasked to do, what you're supposed to do is take out an enemy, which could alert the other NPCs on screen, and then you have to like quickly move to a new location and re-enter stealth, and then engage the AI again. And you just have to maintain stealth as much as possible, but you can't stay in one spot. That's why they put so many enemies on screen, because they wanted the player to keep moving around. And I didn't really understand that. I didn't really get that until, again, just recently, as I've been playing through the game again. So that's what you're going to see me attempt to do. Another thing is the clickers are extremely annoying in this game. At least on grounded mode, you can't really like move at all. Sometimes like I would just be standing still and I would get caught. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't even understand that. That's just broken game design. Yeah, the first game had that issue too, but it wasn't as rampant as it is in this game. So yeah, I'm not sure what's up.
So the sneaking is pretty much pointless with them in this.
I wouldn't say it's pointless. You still have to use stealth, but you can't solely rely on it. Like I said, you're going to get caught. You're going to be seen because there's so many different enemies on screen. It's virtually impossible to play through a lot of these combat encounters just relying on stealth alone. I would reload checkpoints just over and over again until I get it, until I get it right. So. So, yeah, I only have like three bullets here for my handgun and 2 sniper rounds. So,
Oh man.
yeah, that's how hardcore this shit is on grounded mode, or with grounded mode.
Move it!
And I'm trying not to use my Molotov. Now, one strategy here, if I go back, I have an AI companion. The AI will kill the enemies on screen if you give them enough time, because the AI can't really die unless unless an enemy grabs them, and then you have a certain amount of time to get to them to save them. But you have to rely on your AI companions here and there.
Man, so you can even sneak in tight spots like that. That's pretty. Man, so you can even sneak in tight spots like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the best mechanics that Naughty Dog added for this game, for the sequel, because that's something you couldn't do in the first game. AI is searching for me right now, and whenever this happens, the AI, your companion AI, they become basically invisible to the enemies on screen, which is kind of funny, even though it doesn't make sense. And again, I'm low on ammunition. I really don't have any ammunition. You have clickers that are paired with runners, so
And he's still moving? Nope.
so out of what you saw, how would you rate this combat encounter?
So far it doesn't look too bad. And what I noticed, they give you a lot of open space to kind of outrun enemies, just in case you do get detected, but
Mm,
still plenty of space to kind of sneak your way past enemies and kill them like that. Kind of do sneak attacks behind them as well.
right. The shelves should have given given the player enough opportunity to go on the offensive without having to engage the AI, but you're caught very easily for some reason. And I think maybe they did that on purpose so they can like kind of teach you the general rule of the game of having to re-enter stealth after you get caught. And there should have been more squeeze through opportunities, which is what this is. There wasn't really enough of those in here, but yeah, as a like a kind of like a almost like a tutorial type of encounter, I'd give it like maybe I'd give it like maybe a 7 out of 10. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I give it the same.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next one. All right. So this is the next combat encounter that I captured. Basically, the concept is that Ellie and Dinah goes into a courthouse. It's an abandoned courthouse that's full of infected. And this is still early on in the game, but this is maybe like an hour to 2 hours later. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
Quick question too: how much of that area is actually explorable?
This area, you're talking about this.
Yeah.
This is like a mini open world section at the start of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of this is explorable. They don't repeat it for the after you get through this section, they don't repeat this style of game design, which is actually for the
Mm.
better. But yeah, this was basically in response to the first game being too linear or something, some mess.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Here we go.
So I will say the not commenting on the gameplay, but just the art direction for this particular area is very stellar. They did a great job with the art direction here.
Absolutely.
All right, so here I'm trying to get through this doorway, but my AI companion is blocking my way. It's not a big issue because it doesn't happen consistently, but when it does happen, you don't want something like that happening on a difficulty setting like grounded mode,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the difference between life or death.
Go, go!
So once again, I'm trying to re-enter stealth. Which I do so successfully.
Oh man, it's scared me. Okay.
Something else that's new with this game, just to explain it to you real quick, they added a dodge system that wasn't in the first game, so you can actually like dodge opponents' attacks, and it makes the combat system, like the melee system, more dynamic.
It's great too.
Yeah. Initially when I played this game for the first time, it didn't feel right to me because you have to press L1 on the controller to get it to work. Like there, something like that, you would think you would have to like move the character, but the character moves themselves with the button press. And something like this was replicated with the Callisto Protocol, but that was more of what I was talking about, how I thought it should have been designed initially with The Last of Us Part 2, where you had to like move the stick to move the character in the direction you wanted to dodge. But they made it simple in this game. It's more like a contextual action. You just press the button and the character just dodges. So. I will say for the infected enemies, the clickers are they're the most annoying threat on screen because primarily because they're so difficult to sneak up on. With Ellie, it's easier because Ellie doesn't have a lot of physical strength, so they gave her they gave her the switchblade that she had from the first game. She can just take out clickers without having to worry about item management. Whereas when you play as Abby later in the game, it's like playing as Joel. She has to craft shivs. Those are only good for a certain number of uses. So.
Is that it? I think so. Go team. Let's find that gas. Yeah.
So, yeah, what are your thoughts? How would you rate this?
Yeah, this one seems definitely doable. There's like so many pathways. I see what you mean. And then you really can't stay in the same spot because the way the enemy moves, it seems like they're moving in almost every direction you can go. It's like there's like no limit to them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad area again. For this one, still nothing too crazy for me. I'd probably still give this one like a 7.
Yeah, same here. This was a rather straightforward encounter. What really elevates it is the art direction, which I mentioned earlier. But there's nothing really dynamic about it that really is outside of the box. Now, the later combat encounters, some of the later combat encounters, in fact, a lot of the later combat encounters is much more complex and complicated. As we get to those, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. This is in Seattle, day 2, I believe. So Ellie is by herself here. So yeah, this is very different, and this is in an interior location with a bunch of infected.
Here for years.
And I did explain to you some more of the gameplay mechanics, like the tall grass and going prone and all that. So. You see what I mean? Like if you play on grounded mode, you'll find like maybe one bullet.
Yeah.
That you can use. The game basically gives you breadcrumbs. I did take out some infected right there.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, though, the art style is just insane.
Yeah, they did a great job with the art direction in this game. All right, so this is a new enemy in this game. It's called the Shambler, and what these guys will do, they can actually see you. Like if you zoom in on the character model, like you can see like glowing eyes, so they can see you in the dark. And usually you'll find them in dark areas. And these guys are extremely dangerous. If they see you, they're gonna rush at you and release like this gas, and it's caustic. It's caustic gas, and it'll burn it burns the skin, and it'll kill you very quickly on grounded mode. And they're damage sponges. It takes a lot to kill one of these guys, so it's best to avoid them as much as possible.
Not another one.
Wait, is he? Oh.
So I've been compromised right here.
Oh shit.
There is a point where he chases me outside of the store.
Ooh.
That gas is still there. Yeah, I'm assuming he went back inside.
Just in case. Whoa. What was that? Oh, shit. Hope you did that, Tommy.
So you see, I fucked up there.
Yeah.
So
It was hard to tell though. It looked like a safe area at first.
yeah, I got right there. Now, even if you're good on health, if you have to reload a checkpoint or if you die, you can start with like 50% of your health or less on grounded mode when you reload it like a checkpoint. So, doing what I should have done the first time. You see some grass in there. So, yeah.
Man, the combat looks great.
They did a good job with the melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really good job there. So yeah, that was kind of broken into two different encounters. Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, starting with that first encounter, even though it was a small portion, since the enemy AI in this game has just been like so good, that's what really makes it tense. So that one worked out well. That second area, it kind of goes back to the very first part. The area just seems so much bigger now that you're out in the open. So it's a lot more kind of nerve wracking because you just don't know which direction they're in, and you have so many areas like the grass now to hide in. So yeah, honestly, it looks a lot better now. I give it a 8.
Yeah, they give you a lot of different tools as far as the environmental like interaction and whatnot. Like you just have to utilize what's best for the given situation because the areas really are like expansive, and that was the whole point of the design is that they want you to make full use of the environment, but as needed, you know. So yeah, I'd give this an 8 too. On to the next one. All right, so this is the next major combat encounter. This is actually one of the best ones in the game, if you ask me. In my opinion, this is one of the best ones that they have. So the concept here is that you enter into like this rundown suburban neighborhood, and you have a bunch of different houses that you can go inside, including an upstairs section for each one, and where you can scavenge for different items, resources, and then you have enemies that will roam the houses out on the outside, and they can, if you're detected, they can enter the houses and follow you inside. And then there's also some enemy NPCs with dogs, which is another new gameplay element in The Last of Us Part 2 compared to the first game. So let's take a look here.
I want every building in the area searched. Someone's out there.
Oh, and you can craft silencers in this game, something you couldn't do in the first game. But they only have so many uses.
Okay.
How easy is it for the dog to catch you?
It depends on the situation.
Damn.
You want to take the dogs out as quickly as possible, because if they find you, they can basically like bum rush you, and they'll leap at you. And if they leap at you on grounded mode, you're just dead.
Damn.
So once you're detected, the enemies will move. They'll call out all of the other companions on their side, and they'll all converge on your location. That's why you have to keep moving. But that's very difficult to do on grounded mode. So you're probably going to see me die a few times here.
The hell did she go?
They move quick too. Yeah.
Bring her down.
In that house!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do they miss? By the way, too.
They do.
At all?
They do, but it's seldom.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I mess up, I have to reload the checkpoint, because you only have so much ammunition. You have to get every shot right. If they spot you too early, you gotta restart the checkpoint. So I should have restarted the checkpoint right there, because you should be able to take them out without having without the AI noticing. Now you notice how when you take out some of the enemy NPCs, like they'll call out each other's names and
yeah, I like that.
yeah.
Actually feels more real.
That it does.
I think that's the first time I've seen that in a game.
It probably is. So you can see how this game is a very different beast from the first one.
Yeah.
It's much more open and dynamic.
It's Miles. He's fucking dead.
And it's harder.
Look, got a visual on her! In that house!
Go on, boy, get her!
Move up!
Got it.
Yeah, this is wild.
Get away!
Now, I've never played Metal Gear Solid 3, but you have. How similar is this to that game?
To me, when I played Metal Gear Solid 3, I remember playing it on the, I think it was on the PS3. I don't think it feels similar at all, because that game, the movement was just so much slower,
Yeah.
from what I remember. And the NPCs, sometimes they can be a bit dumb at times as well.
Uh-huh.
The stealth isn't as good as this as well, but you can go prone in a lot of situations too, because there's so much grass around.
Right.
That's something they do have similar. But yeah, it's definitely not as good as this, in my opinion.
Okay.
Lost her.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I wonder how the remake how they're gonna do it for the remake.
Yeah.
They should pull from this game as inspiration for the gameplay. Of course, you can't turn Metal Gear Solid into The Last of Us, so.
Mm-hmm.
Trail's cold, boy. Guess you lost it.
Nothing to report.
So I'm trying to go to this this other area over here. Try and take out some more enemies.
Nothing over here. Where is she hiding?
In this section, you have no AI companions, and you're up against an army, basically, like a small army of enemies.
Quiet.
Anyone see a sign of her?
Not finding anything. Hey,
Jeez.
So they heard me run towards him.
They come in every direction.
They really do. I only have one bullet for each of my handguns. I'm not using any med packs or anything, because health packs, because you know the game doesn't give you enough resources to just go through those. So
Hey, found her!
and I was just starting.
Run her down, boy! Down there!
I jumped on the car to try to avoid the dog.
All right. Oh.
Where'd she go? Find where she's hiding.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts so far?
Man, it blows first two parts out of the water. It's definitely not as simple as the other two. Like, it's just insane.
Right over there.
Enemies come in every direction.
No, you meant the first part. This is the second game.
Oh, I meant like the first two videos we watched.
Oh, okay. All right.
God damn.
Huh? Come here! He came from over there! Huh? In that house!
So I switched houses. And when you switch positions, you gotta do it quick.
How did he get away?
Like, you gotta think on your feet.
Yeah, that's the best part about all of this.
I caught! Over here!
Go around! Straight back that way!
Man, it really does feel like there's never-ending enemies.
This particular part, like I said, you're up against an army.
Okay. Breathe.
And this is one of the easier sections in the game. Imagine being in a situation like this in real life.
Yeah.
You may as well just put a bullet in your head. It is kind of sad they're all being taken out by a 19-year-old girl.
Yeah, you're right.
They turn Ellie into Batman in this game.
I don't see anything.
I know it's real small, but the lighting and reflections that come through from the windows and doors look real good too.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can even crawl in small spots like that too.
Yeah. They can pull you out from under there, though. And on grounded mode, that's pretty much a death sentence.
Bullshit.
So I did really good in the first half of this. This is like the second half. And I fucked up a few times. Because I wasn't trying to use too many resources.
Where the fuck did she go, guys? Don't see anyone. How about you?
Same. Nothing's turned up.
You saw that rope jump up in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that
Any
will happen.
trace of her? gotta be around here somewhere.
There's still like 5 or 6 enemies around. I think this is where I died. Yep, this is where I died.
Right there!
Ah.
Yeah, I died somewhere around here.
Yeah! She went over there! She's running! Right over here! Got away! Can't get that far!
Right here!
Ooh, dang.
Yeah. Shit will happen like that. I hated this fucking checkpoint this game gave me. It kept loading me under that thing. So yeah, I started to die a few times here. I think I was getting frustrated with this part. Now, I wasn't trying to use all of my assault rifle ammo, so I switched to my shotgun. Of course, the shotgun doesn't have a silencer on it, so...
No shit.
What I should have done right there is plant a trip mine. You can craft trip mines. Of course, you're going to see that coming up.
Another dead soldier! Don't let her escape! Hey. Over here!
She's running!
Yeah, so that didn't go well. I tried to change my approach here and it didn't work either. Now you saw how the game was screwing me over right there. So I'm curious, how would you have played this?
What'd you say?
Yeah, I'm curious. How would you have played this?
For me, if I was playing on a harder difficulty like this, I'd try to honestly just stealth kill my way all through. I don't even know if I would use my weapon, even if it took me a longer time.
Yeah, doing that is virtually impossible. You realize that, right?
Yeah, it looks much harder, especially when they got the throwing the dogs in there with them.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
Down there! Over here!
It's just like a lot of constant frustration.
Yeah. So I think this is where I abandoned the house idea.
I've got her! Right over here!
Did I reload the checkpoint here? Yeah, I did. So he saw me outside from inside the house. I don't recall AI being that smart in the video game.
Thought I saw her.
Let's go see what's up.
Yeah, so, ish.
Right here!
Now, he should have been dead.
I agree with you there.
I think the game screwed me over right there.
Over here!
I didn't let him finish his sentence.
The hell did she go? Track her down!
Damn.
Jorge! That way! It came from that way! Where'd she go? Hunt her down!
You can see how this would frustrate the majority of players who play this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
That dog looked like it did a somersault just now.
How'd she get away?
Gotcha.
Ellie's comments are kind of funny. Sometimes she'll like call them names and whatnot when she kills them.
What in the hell?
So I plant a trip mine right there. So when the AI sees it, sees the bodies, it'll go over to investigate and get blown up.
She took out Drew!
That's the idea.
Find her and bring her down.
We might... Right here!
Of course, I got caught before that could happen.
Now what?
Now, mind you, I could just sneak out of the area, but I wanted to take everyone out.
Oh God!
You pretty much just take them all out for the channel.
Well, mainly to scavenge for resources. Sometimes you don't want to leave an area unless you absolutely have to, without finding all the resources, because the game just, on this difficulty setting, it doesn't give you but scraps.
Drew? She took out Drew! Find where she's hiding.
I like how they all have names. It's a shame that this game's story turned out the way it did, because the gameplay really isn't an issue.
Anyone got a visual on her? Where the fuck is she? Got her! Down!
I accidentally switched to the wrong weapon. It takes a few seconds to switch weapons, so that's what happened there.
What? It came from that way!
Look, it's here! The fuck is she? Flush her out.
Okay.
Yeah, on it! She flipped back there!
One of them runs into that bomb.
Shit.
I believe there's one person left. I'm just looking for where they are. And that's it. Yeah. So how would you rate this? Like,
Now for this, I thought it was great with just how open it is, and there's just so many areas, and the enemies just keep coming at you nonstop. That's like they can literally go anywhere where you just gotta keep being on the move.
yeah.
Now I don't know how you'll feel about this when I say it. Uh, maybe there's way too many enemies. I like how there's a lot, but it does kind of feel like there's so many to the point where it kind of takes forever and kind of drags down. But you did say that you don't even have to kill them all. You can sneak past, so it
You
may not even really matter about that.
yeah, you can sneak past entire sections. So but I do agree they did put way too many enemies on screen. And it's a consistent thing in the game. It's not just this combat encounter.
Overall, though, I'd give it a 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I give it a 9 too. They did a great job with this particular encounter. And you can see the leftover bits of the bomb right there.
And you can even see the dog wound too.
Yeah, they didn't hold back. That's one
Yo,
that's the one who triggered it.
man, that's a good attention to detail right there.
Yeah.